Would you like to get more subscribers on Line Webtoons? I'm guessing you would since you clicked on this video, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Steve Conley. I'm a web cartoonist and have been for a very long time. My latest webcomic is called The Middle Age. It's a silly fantasy webcomic, and it's been going on for about 4 years, the last 3 of which it's appeared over on Line Webtoons. It recently passed 10,000 subscribers on Line Webtoons, and in that time I've picked up a few tips and tricks which I'd like to share with you now. A quick primer. Line Webtoons is kind of the Netflix and YouTube of webcomics. There's 2 main sections of Webtoons. There's the original section, which are professionally commissioned webcomics that Line Webtoons pays for, and that's very much like Netflix. Webtoons goes out, finds cartoonists, asks them to pitch stories, and if those stories are accepted, then Line Webtoons pays those cartoonists to produce long-form stories, usually about 26-week story arcs, and produce that material on their website. Then there is the Canvas section of Webtoon, where most of us are. That is kind of the YouTube of Webtoons, where anybody can post their webcomic, and it often seems like everybody has. There's currently 99,000, as of this recording, 99,568 webcomics in the Canvas section, and that's kind of what we're up against. With a sea of so many webcomics, it's hard for us to get any attention. I mean, how, when you're looking at 100,000 potential webcomics, does someone pick yours? The key to getting more readers on Webtoons is understanding how their Canvas system works, how that whole website is set up. Now, this information is accurate as of the end of July, early August 2020, and it has been the same for the last few years. So hopefully the lessons that I've learned and that we're sharing here will apply for the next few years. So when you go to the front page of the Webtoons app or the Webtoons website, you're hit with all this promotional material. And then you have to hope readers will click on the Canvas button. And if they click on Canvas, they get taken to a new page, and that page is promotional material for the editorial picks within Canvas. The editors over at Line Webtoons pick Canvas selections, and they make playlists, they make recommendations of fresh picks, and they also do kind of a billboard listing where here are the hot ones this week, the ones that are trending. And if you're trending, you don't need this video. You're already doing something right. So this is for all of us who are past that page. So you come to the home page of Webtoons, you got to get past that gauntlet. You go to the next page, which is the Canvas front page, you got to get past that. And only then when you click on genre, that's where we are. The first thing that pops up is a section called All. And that literally is all of the Canvas webcomics, all 99,568 of them, organized by date, by the most recent update. So if you uploaded your webcomic just now, you are in the very first position on that page. So 3 clicks in, and you could be the very first position on that page if you just uploaded your webcomic. And that's awesome. No other site has a feature like that. YouTube doesn't give you an opportunity to be on the very top position just because you posted most recently. I can't think of any other site that does that. And it's an amazing thing. It's really the one advantage we have as people no one's heard of. So when we post our new episode, we appear in the top position on the All section, as well as in the top position in the other 2 genres that our webcomic belongs to. All 4 tips are related to that mechanism and how, while we're in that top spot, how we can take the best advantage of it. So this doesn't rely on luck. This doesn't rely on some editor there selecting you and anointing you the chosen one. This is really something that you have control over, something we can do, and it works. It seems to work for me. Number 1. Find the best time to post your webcomic. Now this is a little tricky because it's particular to each person and each web cartoonist's work. I don't know the best time for you to post your webcomic. I found for me there was a period when I was doing The Middle Age, my webcomic. Monday night between 6 and 7 p.m. was a great time for me. I would get 5 to 20 new subscribers with every update. And that felt great. You know how that feels. It's wonderful. And eventually that well ran dry. I kept posting there for about 9 months, 10 months, and then sooner or later, I stopped getting new subscribers. I got everybody who shows up at 7 p.m. on Mondays. Everyone who logs into Webtoons at that time, after 9 months, had seen my comic and had decided whether they liked it or not. So I moved to a different time, 9 p.m., and I started getting more subscribers. So the key is find a time that works for you, and then when that time runs dry, move to a different time. Now, the only way to know which time works for you is to test. Post your webcomic, and then the next day, take a look. How'd it do? How many people looked at it? How many people signed up? How many people commented? And if it worked, great. And if it didn't work, find another time. So all of this presumes your webcomic is wonderful, that you're a fantastic cartoonist, that you're at the top of your game, and that you're doing something worth seeing. It also has a certain presumption that you put all this care into your comic. You want the lettering to be good, the art to be good, the joke to be funny, the story to be compelling, the characters to be real. Put as much care into the time you post. Because you're doing all this work and then you're just going to put it out on a Thursday at 4 a.m. when nobody's online. It's terrible. You gotta put as much care into when you post as every other part of the webcomic. Number 2, a compelling cover image. I can't stress this one enough. This is the main way you'll ever attract any attention. The time of day you post will put you in front of people, but now you're in front of them, how do you get them? And that cover image is key. When people judge a comic, webcomic or otherwise, they judge it mostly on the art. The art says the genre, the art says the style, the tone. So much is caught up in the art that that image is really everything. So if your comic is funny, make sure the art is funny. If your comic is dramatic, make the artwork dramatic. If it's a romance, make it a romantic scene. A lot of people will launch their series on Webtoon and they will add a cover image, and I don't think they change it very often. And the whole idea is that you're such a better artist than you were 6 months ago. Heck, you're a better artist than you were 2 weeks ago. So update your artwork, put your best foot forward, show off your best artwork, and change it if it's not working. And if it is working, leave it alone. Tip number 3, select 2 genres. When you create your series page and when you edit your series page online Webtoon, you get to choose 2 genres. You have to choose one. A second one's optional, but absolutely take it. Because like we said, when you upload a new episode, you appear at the very top position on all, and then your 2 genre pages. And if you've only selected one genre, you're losing out on 1/3 of your potential new audience. Keep in mind, each genre has massively different numbers. The comedy section, which is the biggest one, has 32,000 individual titles in it. And the fantasy genre has 27,000. But something like the historical section only has 750 titles in it. So depending on the genres you post, you might face more or less competition. You might get pushed further down the page more slowly, but those less popular genres also tend to attract fewer people. So there's not really a mechanism that I can think of to game genre selection in a way to increase your audience, but it's just super important to pick 2. And it's also important to remember you can change genres later on. If your story changes tone, you can change genres. I did this with The Middle Age. It's a silly fantasy story, but there's also a romance in it. And when the story got more romantic and less comedic, I changed it from fantasy comedy to fantasy romance. And I changed my cover art appropriately. And number 4, post more often. I know that sounds like a no-brainer. That's kind of been a webcomic rule going back almost 25 years. But in this case, it kind of pushes back against Webtoon's culture. The Webtoon's originals section include very long, sweeping stories, 26-week arcs, and dozens, maybe hundreds of panels in a given webcomic episode. I felt that pressure when I first went into Webtoons. My webcomic is basically 4 to 6 panels per episode, per page. And I thought, gosh, should I combine multiple pages into one longer scroll? And I didn't do that because to me the trade-off was I have a weekly webcomic that's 4 to 6 panels, and I didn't want to turn that into a monthly thing. I didn't think people's attention span could last the whole month. And I'm so glad I didn't do that, because in the end, the opportunity to be at the top of that genre section 4 times a month as opposed to once a month is too wonderful an opportunity to pass up. So to review, number 1, find the best time for you to post your particular webcomic. Take notes so that you know what's effective and what's not. Spot the trends and react to them. Number 2, pick a great cover image, something that really speaks to what your comic is about and something that will attract people. Make it compelling. Number 3, be sure to pick 2 genres. I'm amazed whenever I see a webcomic that only has one genre picked. You're really missing out on a potential audience. And number 4, post often. And again, it seems like a no-brainer, but don't feel the pressure to combine a bunch of episodes into one longer scroll just because that's what the originals are doing. So in addition to doing your great webcomic, if you do those 4 other things that I've mentioned here, I'm certain you're going to give your webcomic the best opportunity to reach new readers and more subscribers on Webtoon's canvas. So these 4 things work for me. I'd like to know what worked for you. Please mention them in the comments below. This isn't me just fishing for comments. I'm seriously trying to learn how to do a better job at this and how to find a bigger audience. I'm sure also people who watch this video and will check the comments later on would love to see what you've done and learn from you. And put links to your webcomics below. I'd love to see your work. I hope you found these tips helpful. If you'd like to read my webcomic, The Middle Age, there are links in the doobly-doo below. And if you want to support my webcomic and videos like this, please consider becoming a supporter on Patreon at patreon.com/Steve Conley. I can't thank you enough. No matter where you are in the world, I hope you're safe, and I will see you online.